Hi, my name is Chris Machuzik, and I was the Pomona Construction Chair and driver for the 2019 Cal Poly Float Far Out Frequencies, which won the Extraordinaire Award for the most extraordinary float in the parade. This float features two astronauts named Morgan and Sally who have landed on this extraterrestrial planet, and they've happened across these aliens. You'll see 6 of them across the float. And they've all found that the only way that they can communicate is not through any verbal language, but rather through music, which is the universal language. Starting with the front of the float, we have Morgan, the astronaut, strumming his guitar and tapping his foot, next to which is an alien named Ketchup, who is mimicking him and playing air guitar right next to him. Moving to the back of the float, we have a large arc structure on which an alien named Scarlet is holding onto an accordion from which another alien, Mufasa, is dangling from just above the pod. Up at the very top of the rock structure, we have another astronaut named Sally, who is kicking her legs and playing the tambourine, and way up in the sky on her shoulders is another alien named Lucy. Now, all the way on the back of the float, we have an alien named Tuba Head, whom I think is appropriately named because he's trying to lift this tuba off his head. Now, this is all that we had planned when our rendering was finished in June, but when we went through design variants in July, Tournament had wished that we had spent a little more time and attention on the off-camera side. So what we did is we added yet another alien named Annie on the off-camera side playing the saxophone. Now, because we adopted her mid-year, we named her Annie after little orphan Annie. And if you watch her closely throughout the parade, she's playing bubbles out of that saxophone. In addition, we also had 3 large flowers on this float based on real exotic flowers. On the off-camera side, we had a flower mechanism with counter-rotating petal layers, which a lot of us thought looked like flip-flops, actually. And on the on-camera side, we had a laminar flow water feature, which unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, was not working the day of the parade, but was working the day prior. For this mechanism, we actually had to import special flowers from Hawaii, which would interact with the water properly and not degrade from its contact. Now, the third flower was just a static flower there for decorative purposes. Some interesting deco materials that we used on the float this year were pink Himalayan salt and lunaria, which we put on the crystal structures you'll see around the float. The reason we went with this is because, except for the one around my head, we had 50-watt LED light bulbs fitted inside each one, which strobed a number of different colors, and the salt and lunaria let this light shine through. Additionally, looking at the aliens, we used crushed strawberry, lemon peel, tomatillo, and onion, and for the spikes on their backs, we used jalapenos and kumquats as well. Moving to the astronauts, on their face shield, we used seaweed, and back at the art structure, we also used groups of succulents as arrangements. Some final details on the float are, as usual, we have our spoon welded on the inside. This time it's inside of Scarlet on top of the arch. And going back to the astronauts, on their backpacks, we have these patches, which are actually replicas of the patches that we have on the backs of our coveralls, which is the logo of our program. Lastly, on each of the astronauts, they have 2 unique space-themed patches on their arms. And if you look on Morgan's left arm, you'll see an otter in space, which is a reference to a running joke that we have in the program of wanting to have an outer space adventure-themed float. Overall, despite some snags throughout the year, we pulled together as a team and produced an extraordinary float, which, as a result, won us the Extraordinaire Award, which was previously only presented to commercial builders in the past. This means that Far Out Frequencies was the first self-built float to win the Extraordinaire Award.